Well, that sure as heck didn't take too long. After uploading my video, I took the time in order to let the Discord know, and not only did I get permission in order to talk about what's been happening in the Discord, I was even given permission to keep going at this with some caveats. So, I'm going to say this right off the bat. If you didn't watch my previous video, please follow the iCard or the link in the description to watch it below, and then make your way back here. On top of that, if you want to play this game yourself, please do so up through Act 1 before watching this video. I'm going to be spoiling the solutions of Act 1, going over the Discord-related info from time to time, and I'll be stating my own theories as to what I think is going on. Act 2 is very much underway as of the time of this recording, and as much as I want to go over some of the stuff that has happened, I will have to save that for when Act 2 concludes. But I will say, I do see you, Hedos, and I will get to you when I get to you. Anyways, as I mentioned before, we are going to be picking up right where I left off on the timeline, so this is your last chance to back out of the video, and make sure you are properly informed for what is going on. So, now that you're back in the proper mindset of crazy, assuming you actually follow dimensions, we can get right back into it and start talking about this. With Rule 7 being deleted recently, and with it just stating that it is now open for everyone in order to talk about, and specifically being given permission for myself in order to continue, we can now talk about the rest of Act 1. On June 29th, 2021, Inauthentic Existence, aka Hedos, posted an image titled, "I have come, authentication begins." It's important to note that the Inauthentic Existence account up to this point was run by an individual known as Riley. However, up to this point, up until June 29th, the Inauthentic Existence account was taken over by Hedos officially. And this is a fun one to crack. It is a bunch of links layered on top of one each other. However, none of them lead to any posts. So what do? Well, you had to reverse them, taking the code 8EVGL7VBNA5 and turning it into 5ANBV7LGVE8. This leads into the video Introduction to the Madness. Yep, we got a dead body, and Hedos is the fucking killer. And like most videos, we got more codes. Yay us! This first image has a string of octal code, and when translated comes out to, "It's hard being without either of you. I just need one more thing. I promise I'm coming." Like always, it's kind of hard to tell who's talking. Anyway, the second image is a massive string of decimal code that translates to, "Hedos, she's been a part of me forever, always in the back of my mind. The dark thoughts I would try to suppress. It started to show more noticeably as mild mood swings, then later transformed into violent thoughts. And then I followed through on some of those actions in subtle ways. But have been. Jackson left me there all alone, so I ran. So long that I couldn't walk anymore, and I fell to my feet in an alley. That's when they came. I knew what they wanted, and I was so tired and destroyed that I let it happen. I couldn't even feel anything, but Hedos could. Every push, every snap of the bone. So she fought back, and when she had them on the ground, drooling in their own blood, I grabbed the gun. I did, not her. And together we pulled the trigger. It felt amazing. I had a sense of security and relief knowing they weren't living anymore. And I felt accomplished because we did it. I know now that was the day I lost myself. I can't come back anymore. She's in control now. Maybe that's not bad, though. The third image we get in this video is a huge string of binary code. It is really hard to read, let alone translate. Props to whoever got to where it was that we did. So a note here though, this translation is very rough and it is going to require a second look. So feel free to know where to do so after you're done with the video. I sat alone in our flat, gazing at the wall. And that's when I got the call. The call. They found another splinter like me. Another like me. And I was excited. I could hardly think. Later that week, I met you, Carrie. Some word, unable in order to figure out what it is. It looks like Redible, Redible. It's some other word, though. I'm not entirely sure. You guys can really help. But that word, to meet. Finally, after years, we had done it. I couldn't let go of you. I want to know everything about you. See the differences. It was so fun back then. But now it's all fucked up. We lost our goals. We need to fix things. So when Carter came, I finally found the key to things. I just need everyone still to do this something, sentence, or few words or other. And then together. Again, very rough translation. Feel free in order to go back in order to translate this binary. When I mentioned before that the other string was the second hardest string in the entire game in order to read, yeah, this is the first hardest. This is the absolute hardest string in order to read in the game. The fourth and final image for this video is also pretty fun. It is a string of hex code that you have to type all the way out and reverse the text of before translation and then translate it to get the proper result. Anyways, it translates to, I started the Splintered Symphonies project as a cry for help, I guess. I was so lost in my work because I figured it out. The theory of the multiverse had always astounded me, but I had actually proven its existence. Everything became pointless if it wasn't fueling the project. I had Hedos stronger than ever, but she helped me. She made better decisions, so together our project grew. And then we started mapping out realities in search of something, or more accurately, someone. Then when I finally had, I found other uses, bigger goals. The next day on June 30th, we got a massive surprise as all three of the Instagram pages all uploaded at the same time, each posting a grayscale image of the similar logos that they all use. Turns out this was a tease, as on July 1st, Cloudy Dreamer, aka Carter, posted this image titled Loss. Brightening image revealed this string. Too long to be a YouTube video, but it does match the number of characters in a basic YouTube channel URL. For those of you who don't know, on your YouTube channel, it is given a 24-character string when it is created. When you reach 100 subs, though, you can set a custom URL to make it easier to find. That said, that custom URL acts as a redirect to the base URL, which your channel will always retain. Anyways, adding that string to youtube.com/channel/ will take you to a fourth YouTube channel called Splintered Symphonies. To date, it only has one upload from the same day, but it's a real fun one. I would know as I was the one to crack how you solve it. It is titled You. Okay, ready for this? As I'm sure you saw some of the eyes start to flash. There are 13 heads in all, so from left to right, you labeled each one as 1 through 26. Note each time that number of eye flashes. You then turn each number into a letter of the alphabet using its numerical position, i.e. 1 equals A, 2 equals B, 3 equals C, and so on and so forth. Doing so, you get the ominous message of one of you is lying. And yes, those are my own personal notes. Sorry for my handwriting, it is flipping terrible. Carter would then post again on July 2nd with honest answers only. In this case, finding the video is easy, you just use the string on the bottom, leading to the video deceit. Once again, we got another 4 images in a bonus Morse code in audio format. Speaking of Morse code, we got some written out in the top left of the first image. This translates to a name, Rachel Embers. The second image is our good old friend Octocode, with a twist. This is a double encryption. Translating Octocode gets you a string of hex, and translating that hex get you differences will take place. Our third image is more octal with yet another fun twist, a Caesar cipher, also known as shift code, also known as letter swap code, also known as ring decoder code. This type of decryption method goes back literal centuries and can be traced back to Rome and Julius Caesar, who used it in his military operation letters. It became popular in the United States when it was used by the Little Orphan Annie radio show, where it gained the nickname Ring Decoder Code, as you had to get a ring decoder from the show by mail order. They would tell you the letter to line up on the ring decoder, then give you the encoded message. The names shift and letter swap code come from the more descriptive nature of the code. Anyway, history lesson aside, you get this string, which is shift 15, and this translates the message to, I was confused about how she got here. I assume for this kind of project we need some type of vessel to bring us here. Thought correctly, this being confirmed when I saw the searcher. It looked nothing more than a metal glove, but apparently it was used to calculate the frequencies of alternate realities and determine if your body could survive its surroundings. I didn't know when I met her, but Riley miscalculated on purpose. She was desperate to get here, so it damaged her mind in the process. Something we could have been more cautious to avoid. The fourth image is a mass string of binary again, and it is at this point that we all kind of groaned in the Discord, because binary just takes so long to type, and it is really easy to mess up. Anyways, thankfully there was no double encryption this time, so it came out to, I thought after everything my life was over. Sure, I wasn't locked up, but did I have a purpose anymore? I had no sense of enjoyment. I couldn't help the ones I loved. But then I was talking to Rachel, and she mentioned something called a splinter. She introduced me to a girl named Caroline Gordon, and what she said still amazes me to this day. She was me, but of a parallel universe or something. It was like a sci-fi movie, but in reality. She told me there was another splinter named Riley who needed her help. I was skeptical about it, but she convinced me to trust her. I never knew it would be such a strenuous journey, though. Nobody could have. As for the audio Morse code, it comes out to Dawn 39T, let them come back. 39 is hex for an asterisk, so the message is don't let them come back. Finally, Carrie posted the image out in the open on July 3rd. This is in reference that up to that point, all the videos have been uploaded as unlisted. Now they were open for all to see on the channel pages as public videos. The image itself holds a slightly hard to read YouTube link, not because of the coloring, but because of the font. Thankfully, we got it figured out though, and it revealed the video revision. This is wild. A whole new set of images, brand new logos, and a lot. And I mean a fucking lot of codes. So many that I am just going to go through the translations in order. Cyan is binary and comes from Marley. It translates to, you could have killed her, what the fuck is wrong with you? Green is a Caesar and comes from Beth. Translation is, I remember back to when everyone loved me. The whole town knew my name. I was dependable and respected. People always came to me when they needed help, and I felt amazing. That kind of trust is rare, but I guess I should have known it wouldn't last. Slowly, things were seen and whispers were made. Secrets became increasingly difficult to keep. Wow, that's a really hard word in order to pronounce. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Andulentually? I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm going to post it up over in here. Trust was broken. It was incredible how they turned so fast. I needed help, not handling. They made my trauma look like insanity. Before I knew it, I was put in acid like I was a monster. I just wanted your help. Why couldn't you understand? Rachel helped me escape, clear my name. But when I came back to everyone, they weren't the same. No more smiles or adoring looks. Instead, it was replaced with harsh words and disgusted looks. And after you pushed me away and put me through hell, I still love you. Each and every one of you, I remember the times we laughed, when we cried, and it went away because you couldn't understand. I did everything I could to understand you. Why couldn't you do the same? Dark blue is more binary and comes from Riley. They call me crazy, but I don't care. I'm here for a reason. Yellow is even more binary and comes from Carter, who is replying to Marley. To whatever happens, just know that I still love you, Marley. And finally, the purple blue-like color with the last bit of binary in the video, and it comes from Hedos. Finally, we're free of each other. And with that, we've reached the end of Act 1, but my video isn't done yet. It's time to take all of the info we got here and try to piece together what the fuck is going on. But first, I do need to address the loose names. We know Carrie, Hedos, and Carter. The people that you don't know are Marley, Beth, and Rachel. So let's meet our cast. Caroline Gordon, aka Carrie, Hedos, Carter Sinclair, Marley Winston, Elizabeth Gordon, aka Beth, Riley Tesla Winston, and finally Rachel Embers. Those names comes from the counts directly, and we learn a lot about their relations to one another. For instance, Carrie and Beth are sisters. Hedos and Rachel are co-workers, or something similar to that, potentially something else, and I'll get into that in a little bit. And Riley and Marley have some form of connection, most likely siblings or cousins. As much as I would like to ask them, Riley doesn't have control of Hedos' Instagram account like she did at the start of the game, and we have never really been able to talk to Marley before, so there is that to deal with. From what I can tell, Carrie and Beth's universe got blown up by a series of very serious firepower, like nuke level bad. From this, Carrie starts research into the many worlds theory and comes across either Hedos or Carter or somebody who was already researching it with Rachel. At some point, one of the two made contact with Carter, and at some point they became aware of Riley and that she needed their help. With what, though, we still really don't know, or at least I don't know from what I've gone through and what I've been catching up on, even going into Act 2, which case, even if we do have a reveal for that in Act 2 yet, I'm not going to say it here. We do know that it was Riley who created the gloves that allow for travel between the dimensional plane, and we also know that she purposely screwed up her math in her haste in order to travel, which made her very unstable. As for that bit that I mentioned in Part 1 with the king having no ties, and what we're even watching in the first place, and, who the dead body even is, let's tackle that one at a time. For the king bit, I think that one of the worlds, the project, might have been contracted or funded through a monarchy, and saying that the king has no ties could just be a throwaway line. As for what we are watching, I think it's a visual representation of some of the experiments of passing through realities. My evidence for this is Carter exploding in deceit. With Riley messing up the math, Carter could have been too unstable to enter what reality they were trying to, and thus their body exploded. It didn't kill them, more pass them out of their world and back to their own. We also see things like an X, where a person is partially able to pass through, and revision, which is a successful jump done by Carrie. As for the Hedos connection to Rachel, they're either co-workers or they're the same person. We know that Hedos suffers from some form of multi-personality disorder, with Hedos being the more aggressive personality. Rachel could be the original personality that developed Hedos, but again, I'm not entirely sure, though. There's not that much evidence of that true connection. Just the name, and that Rachel doesn't really fit anywhere else with what we've uncovered. But yeah, that's kind of something that I would like in order to push out there. Again, it is an out there theory, but hopefully someone can confirm it for me, or we get confirmation for it later on down the line. Finally, the dead body. We do know who that is, but that is all secrets for Act 2, which is currently underway. As much as I want to talk about it, I am going to hold off. As much as I am excited and flattered by you, Hedos, for what you did. It's awesome, but it's going to have to wait. But it's going to have to wait for part 3, which I plan to do after Act 2 concludes. Obviously, I am not going anywhere anytime soon. I will be coming back to this, but I need to take a break. My head hurts enough as is, and Act 2 gets mega crazy. As with last time, please go support the creators of this project, and if you want to continue from where I left off, head over to Hedos' Instagram at inauthentic_existence and find the post titled 2 posted on July 11th. And a bit of an update, the project now has a link tree, which I have listed below. Legit, go and check it out. It is easier than ever to get to where you want to go. If for whatever reason you happen to enjoy me and this video in general, then throw it a like. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and subscribe for when I do part 3. Hoping to have another video out this week, talking about one of my favorite things ever, and then hopefully I'll be able to do a deep dive on another YouTube project with unfiction elements in it, but it's not necessarily unfiction. I am doing this stuff on my own time, with a job, and working on my own massive project for 2022, so stay tuned. And until next time, this is Team 291, signing out.